Hi, everyone. I thought it was about time that we did another conscious commentary. It's been about 3 or 4 weeks, and probably about 4 weeks now, because as we look back to the past, we can't help but reflect on how much our lives have changed, right, in the last just few weeks. Before I go into this episode, I want to set the table by having you take a look and a listen at this.
We're facing that in a new way we have not faced before. It's bigger than that, and it's helping us and forcing us, all of us, to stop right where we are and say, wait a minute. We've got to look again at life. We've got to look again at ourselves. We've got to look again at the world we're living in. What is really going on here? And I suggest to you that what is going on here right now is a type of energies we have not faced in 500 years that are leading us step by step to the types of energies we have not faced on this planet for 25,921 years.
And now this.
So we're going into a 4 year, and it is a shakeup. It is going to be a shakeup to the core. I try to be as positive of a reader as I can, but I have to tell you that we can see things being shaken up right now.
Lastly, listen to this. In terms of 2020, which we are now in the first month, my does the time fly. And this conjunction that took place, this so-called shift, we use that word so loosely these days, and yet I don't know that there's any other way we could put it, because I have a feeling there's going to be a lot more. I think it's going to be perhaps a delayed, for a lot of people, a delayed effect or effects, series of effects. This is big, guys. So let's carry onward. Let's see what unfolds. Expect the unexpected. Guys, journeyers, I have to tell you, I never cease to be amazed, ever, at the wonders of the universe and the wonders of us, really, and how, although in each of the little clips that you just saw, and of course I'm going to have a link so you can, and I really do implore you to watch and listen to all 3 of those episodes that I highlighted here. Note that all of these shows were done, I believe, I know Sharon Milstein's annual forecast for the following year. We were talking about 2020, of course, happened in at the end of 2019, and then the episode that I filmed of Conscious Commentary was right after I got back from Uluru. I had a deep sense that something was huge on the horizon. We're going to get into that a little bit more. This is what this is all about. And then finally, PMH Atwater, I thought was just spot on. I know, again, I just gave you a clip. I really hope that you will take the time. We've got time now, right? Some of us do. I know a lot of y'all are working at home and working feverishly, so you may not have a lot of time, but if you do, please go back and watch and listen to each of these episodes and see what dots you can connect. Now look, I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, because ever since this drastic alteration of our lives collectively have taken place, I guess I'm a contemplator by nature. I'm a reflector by nature. I marvel at the power that we can pull from when we go back in time and we can think about things that we've said or heard or done where all of a sudden they're in context with what's happening right now. And that's why I say there is power in reflection. I'm kind of hopping all over the place because I'm brimming with so many thoughts and ideas about this completely stunning observation that I think I made looking back at these shows. Yes, universe does work in absolutely mysterious ways. God works in mysterious ways, but we do as well. Now look, in the case of my conscious commentary, which I believe was well, let's see, I got back from Australia on or about the 18th, so it was filmed very shortly afterward. I had to document everything that had happened there, but as part of documenting that, I had this absolutely unequivocal sense that we were about to hit a period of something that we would never see the likes of, have ever seen the likes of before, and I did not know what it was. As PMH Atwater was speaking, and if you haven't seen it already, and you do go back, the areas that she hit, none of us could name it. None of us would know what that catalyst would be, but all of us had this visceral sense that something big was on the horizon. I put it in the context of in fact, I think in each show, I make mention of the well-known Saturn-Pluto conjunction and what has also been known as a cosmic conjunction, a very rare event that I wish I knew more about. I'm not an astrologer, but I am obviously one who's observant about these sort of archetypal scenarios that play out on our 3D, in our 3D world, but are undergirded by this incredibly powerful, invisible, but powerful energy. Now again, what's the point I want to make here? And I'm probably not going to go too long here today, because I do want you to listen and watch these 3 episodes. But I thought to myself, this is not about me saying, I told you so, or PMH or Sharon Milstein saying, I told you so. This is about, I think what I want to emphasize here now more than ever is hindsight is 2020. Now, of course, that saying really has to do with the idea that by the time you realize what happened in the past, it's too late to change the future or the present. I think that's also, you've probably heard this before, 2020 vision, hindsight is 2020. I would say hindsight is indeed this year of 2020. Hindsight this year is 2020. But where I'm going to say hindsight, or where we normally say hindsight, I'm going to say reflection, because there is indeed power. Now, in PMH's talk in particular, it's, as I said, all of these are more than this idea of I told you so. PMH has some absolutely incredibly powerful suggestions, given what she saw coming on, as to how we can go through these times, mitigate the effects of what is being brought about for all of us. I know so many of you out there are anxious, a bit stressed, perhaps afraid. And when you go back and you listen to these shows, when you recall your own thoughts, think about where you were, let's say in late December and January. How were you feeling? What dreams were you having? What were you thinking? I know we talked about synchronicity, right? We did a few shows on synchronicity. I am clear that those synchronistic clusters, or spikes as I called them, in these episodes, and all the feedback I got from you guys, I really believe that all of this was presaging a very powerful time that we were about to enter. And we couldn't name it, but we knew that there was something different going on, something different with the energies. Perhaps the universe bringing us all of these synchronistic scenarios to prepare us for the fact that we would need to be using, we're going to need to be using our power of communing with the universe, because I do believe that synchronicity is the universe's way of speaking to us. We're going to have to lock into that. We're going to have to lock into how we use our intuition and use it. We are going to have to, as Bashar said, I hope you had a chance to watch my recent interview with Daryl Anka, find the eye of that storm where it's calm. He says, if you wish to be on a certain train during this time, you're going to need to steady yourself, figure out how to get yourself into the eye of the storm where it's calm, so you can make decisions from a space of calm and steady. This is stunning, and it's powerful, and it's brilliant. And I say brilliant, and I mean that. This is the area of this big story that I have been consumed with in terms of understanding the significance of why us, why here, why now, what's it supposed to do? Because I do not feel, this is my feeling, my personal opinion, But I don't feel that anything begins on the surface level. It begins on the invisible level and rises to the surface as sort of a reflection on some level of our own state. I think this has been on the horizon for a long time. Perhaps this conjunction that happened in January that many of you are familiar with was the impetus, well, not the impetus, but the trigger or the opening to allow these energies to come in, these unprecedented, surreal energies to come in order for us to align with something that we prefer to be aligned with. That's why we have to be in the calm of the storm. I'm going to come back because there are some other thoughts. You can only imagine the thoughts that have been going through my head. I have been wanting to talk to you all for ever since all of this intensified, and I will continue to talk to you. I'm going to continue conscious commentary. It may not be every week, but as thoughts come to my mind, I will obviously come to you. Right now, again, I want you to go watch those 3 episodes. I may actually list a 4th. I had a talk with Christine Day. She, of course, is known as the Palladian Ambassador, when we came back from Uluru, because again, that demarcation point of January 12th, we were together in Uluru to both celebrate, discuss, and align with those energies. I don't know that she knew at all what this would entail, but I am convinced that even that conversation is pertinent, excuse me, to what's happening right now. I'm going to leave you with this. We're at a point where right now, I believe today is April 3rd, and we don't know how long this is going to last. It will last as long as it needs to, perhaps for us to get whatever it is we need to get from it. But we're at a point where reflection is going to be, or the power of reflection and committing to reflecting on the past to bring power into the present is going to be of utmost importance. They say, be in the present. Well, I agree with that. Be present, be here now. PMH had talked about that. But I have also believed that power lies in our point of reflection and contemplation on the things that you may have said, done, or heard that now make sense. Now you can put into context. And if you take that opportunity to reflect, how might you apply some of what you felt, heard, and said to now to help you navigate through these incredibly tumultuous, and I'm going to say it again, brilliant times? I do feel that we have been handed an invitation to evolve, but with one caveat. We have to get on the other side of this. How are we going to get on the other side of this? I say we kind of loosely because this is as much of an individual and sovereign journey as it is a collective journey. When I come back to you, I'm going to tell you the story. I have talked about this before, but I'm really going to place emphasis on it, on a flight that I took that was unlike any other. I don't want to spoil it because I'll end up going into it right now. This warrants a conscious commentary on its own. I want to share with you guys some of the experiences that I have had leading up to this period of time. When I look back in reflection mode, I know that I was being handed a signal. Not that I was to glean what it would be, how it would be, etc., all the details. I don't even think that's important, but rather to go back and say, aha, now I get why I had that experience. And what can I procure from my recalling the experience again to add a measure of power to the now for you. Many of us are feeling unsteady. We're feeling unsteady. We're out of equilibrium. Maybe we were before. I think there was a good period of time leading up to this. These things are typically, they happen in an arc, but this has been a wallop, hasn't it? This has been a wallop, a blow to the system. And that's typically how it happens. But I will continue to look at this as an invitation to make a turn in your life like you've never made before. All of our situations are different. Many of us are dealing with financial stress. We'll get through it. I may actually bring on, I think I'm really thinking about bringing on a guest that can really hone in on how we can navigate the financial situation that's coming. And I know that there's solutions to everything. This is the time we're going to have to be creative, think out of the box like never before. We will. Okay, I'm going to leave it there again. Mine is going, Alexis, be here now. I love, excuse me, I love all of you. I love all of you. And I have been thinking about you all, the journeyers, for ever since this happened. I think about you all the time, but now more than ever. I wonder what this person's doing. I wonder what that person's doing. How are they dealing with this? What can I provide for you? Any words, any sentiment that you might be inspired by? You know, we're all in this together, right? I'm learning from you. You're learning from me. I'm learning from the neighbor. I'm learning from the most, unsuspecting things that I might hear. I'm learning from my own thoughts. But I want to be here for you in the best way I know how. I'll continue to think and share my reflections with you, and I'd like you to do the same for me, with me, I should say. Please leave comments about what you're going through, what you're thinking. What nuances might you pick up on as you go back to the past? Go back to, let's say, mid-December, end of December, beginning of January, mid-January, end of January, beginning of February, mid-February. See if you can put together a pattern of things that have been happening in your life. Not the most obvious, but the synchronicity. Again, the triple numbers, the double numbers. We're going to come back and talk about that. All of these little signals that I think may have been pointing us, as the universe so brilliantly does, to the fact that we were about to enter into this most unprecedented time in our human history. Let me know. All right, I'm going to go. 15 minutes on the dot. I'll talk to you soon, journeyers. I do love you. Air kisses, virtual hugs, and I can't wait till we can actually hug each other in real life. That day is coming soon. I'll talk to you soon.